Welcome back for the second segment of the January 6th Trips and Traps. Once again, Andy Serling joined by Eric Donovan.
We'll pick up right where we left off in the first segment. We'll go to race number 7 from December 30th. We're taking a look at 3 horses in here. French Onion Soup, who has some trouble at the start, City Fest, and Our Little Nugget.
Yeah, we'll see how this race was affected by the bias. Now, clearly, French Onion Soup, the 4, who gets stayed out at the start, and you'll see later has trouble in the stretch. He was the favorite, and he was the best horse in the race. But others had trips to compromise their chances.
They sure did, and we'll take a look at the pace first of all here, and you see it's a fast pace developing here with 4 horses going after the lead. At this point, it looks like the 8-horse City Fest is settling in a good spot, but he is wide, and we'll also take a look at the 7, Our Little Nugget, who's the widest of all up on that pace in the 4-path right now.
Yeah, and it shows how difficult it was to close outside because the 2 horse who's sitting 5th behind the duel gets the perfect trip, yet he angles out in the stretch and has no real answer, finishing 3rd. City Fest takes advantage of that fast pace, but he can't close at all, having a 3-4 wide trip the whole way around. And the eventual winner, who's on the rail right now, and that's Cleric, he looks like he's absolutely left for dead top of the stretch, yet he fights back on the gold rail, and while this is going on, French Onion Soup is getting squeezed out again.
Yeah, we'll take a look at French Onion Soup there, the 4 horse and right inside of the 8 City Fest, and up toward the lead. You can't see the horse right now covered on by another horse, but we have the other horse, Our Little Nugget.
Yeah, Our Little Nugget, of course, chasing 3 wide. He does well. Pink blinkers on French Onion Soup on the inside, so watch him get in trouble. A lot of pink colors here, and you'll see it in the stretch. City Fest tries to make that wide move. I'm sorry, you cannot chase 4 and 5 wide on a racetrack like this and be successful, and I think that hampers him. He does try to make a move. I know it feels like he got a good setup. I still think he ran better than people realize. French Onion Soup totally eliminated. He'll come back on and finish 2nd in here. You see Half a Note trying to make this wide move here. He looks good. He flattens out, and the horse on the inside just keeps on running.
More further proof that the inside was the place to be on December 30th, and obviously French Onion Soup, the horse that a lot of people are going to be enamored with out of that race, but I think a couple others that might have a little bit more upside, maybe some more long shot potential next time.
I agree. I would not discount City Fest if he can get himself into a reasonable spot. And French Onion Soup, you're right, everybody's going to want, and rightfully so. But on the other hand, I don't know, these horses that get themselves in trouble, short price the next time, I don't know how much money they make you in the long run.
All right, so race number 2 on this segment. We're going to take a look at the 6th from December 31st. Great Silver Saint, the 2, 6 Expat, and the 1 RJ Hope. Actually, the 1 and 2 are going to get some trouble going to the first turn here.
Right. Well, first of all, the 2, Great Silver Saint, was supposed to be the speed here. He's back to last, and you'll see him get in extreme trouble here. Ramon Dominguez caught everybody sleeping, and he's riding the even money favorite in this race, Keep Thinking, who wins the race. He was maybe 3rd or 4th best in here, and for those people that say Ramon wins because he rides the favorites, they're wrong. He wins because he rides very, very well, and he catches everybody napping. You see Great Silver Saint steadying back out there. You'll see Expat, the 6 who runs 2nd. He's chasing 3 wide. He's got speed early. Ramon gets the front end, and not only does he get to the front of the outside post, he goes a 50 half in here. This horse wins the race. I don't know if he was 3rd best.
Yeah, 50 half, and he's clear by 2. It's not like the others are right on top of him here, so clearly an aggressive ride out of the gate from Ramon, the other 2 not so much.
Yeah, you see Alan Garcia who's riding Expat, and what was he doing? This horse has some speed, and he's just dragging him back, drifting out in the middle of the racetrack. Ramon knows where he wants to be. He knew the rail was good, and I also thought that Expat, you'll see him moving in, he's 4th right now. He could have gone towards the inside as they level out down the backstretch. He could have saved around the turn and angled out. Instead, he's 3+ wide chasing around. He should have won the race, but you know what? Great Silver Saint's the one who really should have won.
Great Silver Saint should have won, and keeping an eye on RJ Hope here, who's kind of going off the screen right now, who kind of made a little bit of a move to get in contention there and then drops off, and we'll see RJ Hope again later get back into it. Here's the 6 Expat, and you just see where he is chasing on the slow pace, and it's just not going to work out from there.
No, it doesn't. And your horse, the 1 horse, RJ's Hope, he's like a big horse. He might benefit from not having an inside position in a race, but he'll need a fair racetrack. Great Silver Saint, he's the one making the slingshot wide move, the gray out there, and you'll see him finish 3rd in here, and you think of the early trouble he had, the position he lost, the wide move he made. He should have been in front in this race, and if he had been in front, he would have won the race. And you know what? The horse Expat finishes 2nd. He still would have finished 2nd. And the favorite Keep Thinking won because of Ramon being on top of things, other people not being as on top of things, and he won because of the ride, even money or not. He wasn't best.
RJ Hope comes on for 4th in here. You might have seen a little bit of trouble he had in the stretch there. The jock had to take him outside, had to steady briefly there, but clearly a race won by dynamics, and the heads-up riding from Ramon Dominguez right out of the gate was the reason why Keep Thinking won here.
Right, and you know what? Other people didn't do their homework as well as he did, and they weren't as prepared, because Expat should have been a little more aggressive. Guys should have been more aggressive out of the gate with horses with some speed. When you have a two-turn race and a pronounced bias, it's all about positioning, and it felt like people were very lackadaisical in here except for Ramon, and that's why he won the race. Horses back out of that race. Great Silver Saint. He was a second-time starter for John Terranova. He's going to be very tough wherever he lands. We've got one race left, and this was a race from January 2nd, and it was the 6th race.
It was the long shot race won by Hudson Heights, who paid over $200, actually $223 to win, but Crazy Charlie probably would have won the race had it not been for this trouble at the start.
Yeah, Crazy Charlie clearly would have won, but also it was a pace dynamic. A lot of things had to happen here for Hudson Heights to win. He still ran better than he figured on paper, but what he got here was an extreme pace. You see Carter Storr, the 9, who was one of the favorites. He broke a step slow and had to rush up to get the lead. This was a very, very fast pace. These are cheap horses. Cheap horses, but better horses went a second slower to the quarter and 6/5 slower to the half in the prior race. The next race, much, much better allowance horses, New York breds in a competitive race, went like the same pace. These are cheap horses. This was a taxing pace. Empty Wallet was probably best.
He was the even money favorite, probably best in here, dueling outside of the 9-horse Carter Storr right now. And the race is really going to fall apart late for Hudson Heights, who you don't even see on the screen right now. Hudson Heights at least 7 or 8 lengths back at this point. There he is, just getting on the red cap on the far outside. You see where Crazy Charlie is all the way in the back, still with a lot to do.
Right. I mean, this was a dynamic situation where the horses that have won 2 here, probably in a fairly run with a slightly less fast pace, would have finished first and second, and at closers, Crazy Charlie, and he was the 3rd choice, but he easily would have beaten the winner of this race. It took a lot of things for this $220 horse to win, and I mean, that's usually the case. Horses win at big odds. They're going to be circumstance, but there was a lot of circumstance. Very fast pace, really caught Empty Wallet at the end. We'll see that horse lumbering up, but Crazy Charlie, he should have galloped in here.
My question to you is, do you really want either Empty Wallet or Crazy Charlie the next time they run back, though? We said before, this isn't a great field, 15,000 to lifetime for state breds. I think these horses could be a little bit of a trap next time, and here's Crazy Charlie coming out of the gate, actually going to get bumped a little bit by the winner.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, the winner came out, and you could argue the winner cost the race there, unlike the odd foul claim there was against the winner from somebody else in the stretch. I still haven't figured out what that was about. I agree, I don't want Crazy Charlie next time, because he got the pace dynamics. And yeah, he should have won this race by 3 lengths, but if he had won this race by 3 lengths, we'd be saying the next time he runs, you don't want this horse, you got a perfect trip. I certainly would want Empty Wallet if it's the same field got together again. But I agree with you. It's probably a situation where you're supposed to be looking for new faces when this group meets up.
Yeah, I agree. I think Empty Wallet, a horse that seemed to have potential starting out his career, ran an allowance, some stakes races, now in for the 15-2 lifetime. I can't really make too many more excuses for him.
No, I agree. He is what he is, and he's just the kind of horse that he may win some races, but you're right. He's not going to do anything special, and he's going to be a short price again. And like I said, find somebody interesting and new. I know I couldn't have found the 100-to-1 shot to win here. Took him a lot to go in his favor, but when you're betting big-priced horses, you know you're going to have to get a little bit lucky to win, and maybe he shouldn't have been 120-to-1, though I'm not sure, 110-to-1 if he shouldn't have been a bigger price, but he got the money, and that's all that counts, and that does it, of course, for this episode of Trips and Traps. Once again, that email address is tripsandtraps@NYRAinc.com. Keep your thoughts coming. We appreciate your watching. We'll see you next week.